Alright, Dave here, Sense Everything, and it has been a few weeks since I've been in the garage. It has been very cold here in Ontario, Canada the past few weeks. Far too cold for me to work out here in my very much uninsulated garage. If you want to know just how uninsulated and non-weatherproof my garage is, if you can't see from my breath already and being able to see it, snow does occasionally come in through a vent somewhere up there. I get snow in the garage once or twice every winter, and it never ceases to kind of make me chuckle a little bit. So because I am kind of knee deep in making this running board fit, that video is going to be a little bit to come. However, I do have sort of a side quest from that video, which is going to be removing these mounts to make it easier for me to adjust where the running board will sit. And to do that, I bought these spot weld cutters from Princess Auto. So I figured, why not do a quick review on these and see how well they work. I've never used spot weld cutters before. This was about $34 or something like that. I'll put the price as a text over this. So I might as well see how they work, and I'm going to try and remove this one here. You can see that I have cleaned things up a bit so I can do my best to see them. I know for sure there's one there and there's one there, so we might as well start with those. But really, I'd like to get this popped off tonight, see how it works, be able to edit up a quick review of this product. Princess Auto did not give me any money. Nobody paid for this but me. This came right out of my pocket, so don't think that anybody paid me for this. It's just a quick video I think I can do and then get back to sort of the main quest. Let's say, yes, quest, I'm a nerd. Anyway, let's get this all set up, and then we'll start to see how things work. Alright, I've got the camera set up so we can do a bit of an unboxing, and just in case you thought I was joking about the weather, this is my water bottle, solid ice. Alright, enough chat, let's open up this Mr. Blacksmith spot weld kit and see what we've got inside. So I wasn't expecting this, actually. It looks like there's a case within a case. I thought for sure we would just have some stuff rattling around inside of some styrofoam, so that's cool. It looks like a pretty decent case, actually. Let's see if I can figure out how to open this. Alright, there it goes. Side up. So from what I recall with how these things work, you put a little bit of a divot in whatever you need to cut the spot weld on. This does depress a little bit. It is kind of on a spring, so you don't drill through the piece that you want. And these are actually reversible, so you just unscrew them, flip it around, and screw it back in when you want to switch it, which is how you kind of get to the 8 pieces, I think. So that's pretty cool. And it looks like there's a replacement pin in there. Actually, there's 2 replacement pins, and then a bit as well that you can use, which I imagine this bit, it's just really dull and actually can kind of do that. So when we're going to try and remove these spot welds, let me adjust this a little bit. When we're going to try and remove the spot welds, I think I will try one with this cutter and one with this bit and see which is more effective. It does look like this bit is not designed to go through the piece, so I think I could use either or. So let me just get my drill together. I'll put the camera, I'll make sure that you can see what I'm doing. I'll figure out the best place for it, and then we'll just get to work. Alright, so I'm going to try the drill bit first and see how that goes, and then we'll try the cutter. And I'm just going to go in without center punching it to see how well it works. This one looks about good, so let's give her a go. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job. I'm just going to go easy here to make sure I don't go through both pieces. But this is actually coming along pretty good for a pretty cheap kit. Let me toss some gloves on. It definitely felt like it was starting to go through. So let's just brush this off and see if we've actually popped this one out, which would actually be pretty great. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that one popped. That wasn't too bad. Let's try the cutter on this one and see how that works. Alright, for the cutter, I'm going to put a center punch in it just because I think I probably should. As always, closest hammer is the best hammer. Alright, we got a bit of a center punch. Let's see how this one goes. That definitely walked. Alright, I'm going to grab another hammer and we're going to start this again. I think we got a center in there. I'm actually going to, I saw this online. I'm going to drill it just a little bit, just so I got a bit of a divot. Okay, so I've center punched this now and I've drilled it a little bit. Hopefully this will keep it centered and we will be able to cut this. So this doesn't want to stay centered at all, which is actually fairly disappointing, if I'm to be honest. I thought that that would be the way to go. Not really sure I want to keep massacring this. Let's go back to the drill bit just because I made a mess of this, and then we'll try this one more time on one of these other spot welds. Alright, we've got a pretty deep hole for this to sit in and center. So let's try this thing one more time and see if it'll bite. Alright, we had better success this time through. Let's see what the screwdriver has to say. Oh yeah, we're popped there. Okay. So, pretty solid work actually. Let me grab the camera, clean this up a bit, and we can really take a look at what's going on. Alright, so I've gone ahead and popped 3 welds. 1, 2, 3. These 2 were done with the drill bit, and this hole was done with the cutter, and it's much bigger. It did the job, but that's going to be more for me to weld. So I think for this application, I'm going to keep using this drill bit, which actually seems to make pretty short work of it. And we will just put the camera on, and I'll go through, finish this up, and then we'll pull this off, and we'll take another quicker look at how everything looked, and I'll give you sort of how long this all took me. But I'm pretty happy with the way this is working out. However, I am going to mark this just so I know which one it is, which way is in and out. So when I put it on the running board, I won't mess up. Okay, we've got the piece off that I need to get off. Move my glove. This is it here. This was out. So you can see that it was lined up in this piece. Yes, I did go through there. That is totally user error. I thought it wasn't cutting or I missed it, and then next thing you know, I was through. I will fix that. I'm probably going to end up fixing it from the back side just to make it a little bit easier to finish on the other side. But, you know, that was my fault 100%. The rest of these popped out quite well. You can actually see that the factory didn't even spot weld them in all the spots. So I'm probably going to drill some holes there just so I can spot weld mine a little bit more. Or maybe I won't. We will see. I do have to straighten this out, obviously, from removing it. Not a big deal. I can just put that on the anvil over there, straighten it out. You can see that all of these were done with the drill bit, and that one was done with the cutter. The cutter does make a much bigger hole, and for the sake of me welding this piece back on, I'm not going to use the cutter because I don't want a hole that big. Now I do wonder if perhaps one of these is smaller, and looking at it, this might be a little bit smaller. There's no identification on any of them, so I guess you just have to hold it side by side to see which is bigger or smaller. There's no identification on these, so you just have to hold them up against one another to see which is bigger or smaller. But because the drill bit is working so well for me, I'm just going to keep using it on that side, and then we're going to get this other side off here. I'm actually pretty impressed, even though the first time I tried to use the cutter, it didn't work. Once I sort of did drill that extra little hole in there, everything worked out really well. I do think for the ease of just rip and go, the bit seems to be my preference, but I can see some applications for the cutter in any rate. So I'm going to finish and pop that off because I might as well for this video just get both sides off and kind of do a quick recap at the end. You're wondering why I'm doing this. These were in the wrong spot for where these mounts are, and I did try and open up the hole, and I just couldn't get it to a point where I liked it. So what I'm going to do is just place this on here, bolt it up from the bottom as it would be if it was in place, place the running board on top of it, and then just mark where it needs to be and re-weld it, and that's going to give me a good fit in comparison to opening up the holes, because you can see that I did do that before and it got a little nasty in there. This one's a bit better, but on the other side I was able to get away with opening up the holes. On this side I wasn't, and you can also see that I have started to patch the bottom of the fender better. This ended up being a bit of a fiasco, which is why this is nowhere near complete. You'll see in the next video what's going on with this mess. But let's get back to testing out those spot weld cutters and wrap this video up. So I do have something going up this week instead of missing 2 weeks worth of work. This is off now. I do definitely have to straighten it out after prying it off. But the spot weld cutter did work pretty well. It was very hard. It was very hard to see exactly where the spot welds were on this piece, just because of the way it was corroded. So it did take me a little bit of work to get it off. But I'm going to straighten this out, and you can see kind of how it looks after it's all straightened, and to show that it actually didn't damage the piece too much. Unfortunately, I did go through in 3 spots, just where I couldn't really see the spot weld, and I guess the metal was a little bit weak there, or I just screwed up. That's fine. I will fill those in. It's not going to be a big deal. And I mean, we went through 3 times in 4 times in both pieces, so a quarter of the time we went through. That's definitely user error. I'm not too upset with the tool for that. That was definitely my own fault, being a little bit impatient. Let me straighten this out, and then we can kind of conclude our review on what I got from Princess Auto. So I guess it's time to wrap up this kind of little review video that I'm doing. I've straightened out both of these pieces, and you can see that they are totally reusable, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go through and re-weld these spots in. When I move these pieces, everything's labeled, so I know exactly what's going on. And as for this little kit, thankfully it comes in a metal case that's already all scratched up. Everything stays in there, and it's not going to get lost in my drawers, because usually I keep all my bits and stuff in here, and you can see that there's some that they don't have cases. It becomes a bit of a mess. So I'm pretty stoked actually that has a case. All in all, I gotta say that this kit worked out pretty well. As you saw, I wasn't super stoked the first time I used the cutters, but as long as you put a center punch in it and kind of drill that hole and open it up a little bit, things do work. But I really like the drill bit. I might actually see if there's a way to get more of that drill bit outside of the kit, because I think that was pretty handy. So hopefully you like this little quick review, and hopefully it turned out pretty well. Next week we're going to get back to working on my 51 GMC. You can see that I've got the running board now just sitting there. I do obviously have to move it back. It's just resting there to fix the issues that I've been dealing with. So thank you for bearing with me, and this video is taking a little bit longer than expected. I say that so much that the videos take longer than expected. That's just how life is. But we'll be back with another one, so give me a like, a share, subscribe. If you did like this review, let me know if you want me to do more reviews. I do have some other tools that I've picked up recently that kind of helps the DIY guy like myself out in the garage. So if you want to see more of that, just let me know in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.